Hey guys, how are we doing today? Welcome to episode 3 of the We Know Ball podcast. Today I'm joined with Joe,
Whoa.
and I'm here with JJ as well.
Yo.
And I am going to be your host today. I'm Bobby. And let's get straight into it. It's going to be a bit of a shorter episode today. But I feel like we have some pretty good topics that'll get it chugging. All right. So, how are we feeling about the no more undefeated teams? They were both defeated this weekend in quite embarrassing fashion, I would say.
I mean, listen, there's no more undefeated teams, right? But you know what there is still in the NFL? You know what there still is? Still a winless team, baby! Scoreboard!
I mean, that was
We're on
expected.
top. We're on top.
That was
That was
expected.
expected, to be fair.
No.
Also, I do want to say, the 49ers, I don't really see that as like an embarrassing loss, to be fair. They missed the field goal at the end to win the game. It's really just unfortunate. On top of that, they didn't have McCaffrey in, and I think Debo was also injured.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at this
with
point,
the shoulder injury.
Yeah,
Debo's-
and honestly, the Browns haven't looked horrible, so it's
No,
not
the
like,
Browns have actually looked good. Their defense
Yeah,
is top tier.
yeah, I think
in that regard. Now Philly.
Mm.
Philly, on the other hand, I just want to say, as a
It's
Jets
just-
fan and everyone in here that doubted me, that was a good win.
Their,
right
their
there.
offense has been very lackluster, I would say.
Who?
Philly.
Philly?
Yeah.
I want to say that, but at the same time, AJ Brown, right now, I think he's like third for yardage.
yeah,
Out of the
Okay,
receivers.
AJ Brown is cooking, but as far as play calling, it's if you look at last year and this year, it's very different. And I mean, they lost their offensive coordinator, so I mean that's to be expected. But I don't know, there's something about it. Jalen Hurts is getting pressured a lot more because that offensive line just isn't as good as it was last year,
that's surprising.
and he's not doing the best under pressure.
Yeah,
So it's causing a lot more sacks and just turnovers from him,
yeah, you can
and not
definitely
smart
tell
decisions.
that last year type of thing, he was able to easily find the pockets and get out of the pockets easily. Whereas this year type of thing, it's gone. There's a little less scrambles from him. It's definitely more pass game. And it kind of sucks because a lot of the times those the play calling isn't there. For Philly at least. I still think that they definitely have a really solid team. To go 5-0, for example. It's still remarkable. And,
Yeah, they're still a top tier team in the NFC for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, definitely. But I don't see them making it to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah,
It could happen. Could happen.
I mean, and the NFC isn't as strong as the AFC is, but I think San Francisco's just is the team to beat right now in the NFC, and they're definitely front runners for the Super Bowl. That's who I have making the Super Bowl at the moment. Even with the loss, I mean, they're still an amazing team.
Oh yeah,
100%.
I just want to point out, looking at the defense rankings through the first 6 weeks, you have the Browns, who obviously they beat the 49ers. They are the number one ranked defense with an average of 200 yards allowed and 9 touchdowns allowed through the first 6 weeks. Compare that to
that's crazy.
The Jets, who are 22nd with 351 yards allowed and 10 touchdowns allowed. Average. Or not, 351
Average.
yards average allowed and 10 touchdowns over the games. I definitely want to say that the Jets beating the Eagles is more, not concerning isn't the right word, maybe embarrassing compared to the 49ers, losing to the Browns. As you said, they were without McCaffrey. McCaffrey has shown that he is him. He has the ability to change a game when he plays. So losing him obviously changes the game. I think what are they losing to? What it was what is
19?
Oblique was what one injury was titled, and then
Yeah,
ribs,
I believe so.
which is just, I mean, an injury like that's gonna keep him out the game. Also I want to point out the Browns did a really good job sort of shutting down the pass game. Also, obviously the run game wasn't, they running. McCaffrey had 43 yards and then 27-23. It wasn't the best rushing game. They also really shut down the. I can't say shut down the passing game because Ayuk had 74 yards, 4 catches. They shut down probably one of the most influential pieces on the offense. George Kittle had 1 catch for 1 yard, which I think is just showing how good that Browns defense is because George Kittle.
Yeah, they got to get the ball to him more for sure.
If I may real quick. So, I'm not gonna lie, San Francisco is one of those teams that, in my opinion, do a really good job. And let me turn my monitor down a little bit so you can see a little bit more of my hands. Do a really good job at cycling the ball. They're one of the few teams in this league that have an asset at every single position. But in that game, they lost 2 of those major assets. So in reality, Kittle, he got 1 catch, yeah. But I feel like if you just look at Kittle throughout his whole entire career as a whole, he'll literally go from one game dropping 2 points and the next game dropping 35. So it's like, yeah, maybe they did do a good job of shutting him down. But looking at like Kittle's career, that could also just be a Kittle performance. In that regard.
Knowing next game he's gonna have like 100 yards.
How many targets did he have, Joe? How many targets did he have?
Yeah, because we had 6 targets and I can't say much.
Yeah, just because if let's say he had 1 catch on 1 target, that's like poor offensively. Like you got to get your playmakers the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. What was that in that game? 2 targets.
2.
Yeah. See, he has to get the ball more. At least attempt. And I understand the conditions in Cleveland were not very good. Like it was raining the whole time and it was very slippery. So I could understand that. But I mean, if you're passing the ball anyways and you lose your McCaffrey and your Debo, I mean, you got to get the ball to somebody, and it's going to be Ayuk and it's going to be Kittle. Those are the next 2 guys. I actually would rather take Ayuk over Debo Samuel. I'm not gonna lie. So
I know. I feel like Debo has shown he's very versatile.
He is definitely very versatile. But for like receiver wise,
I'm also gonna take Ayuk.
That's fair. I just want to shout out. Let me see. Shout out PJ Walker with the Browns for his performance during that game. Because he played a good game.
Mm-hmm.
He had 18 connections, or actually like passes that were caught for 192 yards. Well, I say shout out, he had 2 interceptions, but he did enough to lead that team to a win.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like
for sure.
Still, he may.
The 49ers defense is very good. So
yeah, that's saying something. He's 3rd string. I think he was on the practice squad. Actually, got called up.
Possibly, yeah.
So
yeah, another backup who actually did very good was Tyrod Taylor, who almost squeezed that Giants team to a win against the Bills, which was pretty impressive. I mean, they didn't win, and yeah, he could have done better offensively, but to be a backup and a veteran at that, to come in and play their hearts out against the Bills team is pretty commendable, I gotta say.
Definitely, yeah.
I think JJ has a little moment there. About
what I do?
I think you didn't want to give us all just nice earful for the Jets for not.
Oh, you guys want to talk about the Jets? I think it's about time to talk about the Jets. Hold on. I don't care about stats. I don't care if their defense is 22nd ranked. All right, they don't look 22nd ranked on that field. All right, I'm just saying. There's a plethora of other defenses that look a ton worse. All right, I don't want to put it all right. First of all, I don't care about stats. All right, and
so I gotta say really quick, if your defense, because let's be honest, the Jets offense isn't that great. Their defense is on the field a lot more than other teams' defenses, so that's why they're allowing more yards per game, because they're on the field a lot more, and that's something you have to look into when you look into good and bad defenses.
That's true. But I also don't think the Jets offense is bad by any means. I literally only think that it's Zach Wilson as of right now, which is the most crucial piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, Garrett Wilson. You got Garrett Wilson, Randall Cobb, Breece Hall. So
Dalvin Cook, he hasn't shown much. He is historically a good player.
Alan Lazard.
Alan Lazard, yeah, exactly. It's basically just Zach Wilson and the Packers.
I just think that's pretty funny.
And your offensive line isn't that bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not like
No, the offensive line isn't that bad. But I mean, our running game has been pretty solid.
Your running game's been pretty good. I think Zach Wilson is just pretty bad. Like I'm
No,
not
no,
gonna lie,
it's
Zach
just
Wilson
Zach
is
Wilson.
horrible.
But like I'm
Um,
not gonna lie. I feel like the past few games, except for like there's been like okay, Denver game definitely shaky, but like against Philly, he didn't look horrible. You know, like he looked like an
I mean, you guys
average
won the game.
QB.
So.
Yeah, exactly, and he looked like your average QB. Don't get me wrong, the
I
defense
feel
definitely
like
carried again.
he's
But
gonna have those. He's like that player that he plays up and down to his opponents.
oh,
What happened?
also, I just want to put out there, and I don't know if a lot of people know this or not. The Jets on their defense that game, they were missing their two main cornerbacks.
Oh yeah.
Sauce Gardner was out for a concussion, and like they still got the dub. And big man with the interception.
They lost.
Highlight of the week. Just want to put that out there. Anyways, I'm done talking about the Jets. I'm sure everyone saw them this week, and they're starting to realize that like if they literally just had A-Rod in, they're a team that could potentially win 9 games this season, go 9-6. You know, maybe even 10-5. I'm just saying.
I mean,
10-5, bro. 10-7.
10-7.
and bro, he's not. They're just not playing 2 games. They're just not going to play 2 games.
You have 4 bye weeks.
The thing I say with the Jets though, I think they just Anthony Richardson. That's a different topic entirely. Zach Wilson, he kind of plays up to some opponents, and he'll play a little bit better when he needs to, and he'll kind of play average. But then he'll play a team like the Broncos, like you said, and then he won't do anything, and
Oh yeah.
like
No.
it gets pretty bad.
It's like
Oh,
But
no,
he's
no,
not that
no.
guy. He needs to be more consistent, and I think personally they should probably trade for somebody like Kirk Cousins to compete, but they're not going to. I don't think they trust Zach Wilson too much, and they like Zach Wilson for some weird reason.
I think the reason that they like Zach Wilson is because every single time that they look into trading him is always before like a huge game, and then he pops off. Like for example, right before the Chiefs game was when they were actually talking about bringing somebody new in, and then during that game, like that was a 10 out of 10 performance from him. You know, and then ever since then it's like Zach Wilson's our guy, and then Broncos. And then they were like, okay, well, maybe we should start looking at someone else. And then now this game type of thing. So it's like, I think that's mainly why. It's because like every single time something bad happens, he replaces it with something good. So the inconsistency is definitely there. And I think they will catch on, especially if, but another thing though, another reason that I don't think they do is I think that they think that Zach Wilson can take them to the playoffs. Not the Super Bowl, but the playoffs. And Aaron Rodgers is already back on the field throwing the ball. And he plans to come back. Either late this season or playoffs.
He's
So
yeah,
no,
I think they want Zach Wilson to be the guy of their future after Aaron Rodgers, so Aaron Rodgers can kind of teach him and kind of show him.
Exactly.
I think that's what they want for him. So,
and if they can make it to the playoffs, then Aaron Rodgers will come back. You know, and I think that's what they're looking at. That's why I don't think they're going to pull anybody in. And if they do, it's not going to be like Kirk Cousins, where they're going to have to like extend, like pull out all the money and stuff like that for. I don't think they want a QB like that.
No,
right
I don't. Even if they were to trade for Kirk Cousins, I don't see them giving him like big contract, maybe like 1 or 2 years. I don't see it being like Kirk Cousins is.
Honestly, they might trade for him and kind of just keep him as like a rental.
Kirk Cousins is 35 years old, so let's say he signs like a Dan Jones type of contract, right? Or like he wants a Dan Jones type of contract. It's not going to be worth it because he's 35. He's going to.
It's not going to be with the Jets.
Maybe like 3-4 years max.
Wait, what's Daniel Jones' contract?
Oh, dude, 44 years, like 90 million or something like that.
Dan Jones contract. I'm looking up right now. It is 4-year, 160 million extension.
Oh my
with
god!
82 of that,
even more.
82 of that being guaranteed. So he's 82 million, 100% getting 35 in incentives
on the Giants roster, man.
Yeah, on the Giants roster, that's just kind of crazy. That's why, like, Kirk Cousins.
That's an atrocious contract. Daniel Jones is not that good.
I don't know. That's why if they trade for someone, I don't. Yes, it should be someone experienced or older. Kirk Cousins is just like, especially considering he's in like, he's a free agent this next season, I think, right?
The thing is, I don't think it's worth it for them to trade for anybody. To be honest, like, I don't know, trading for Kirk Cousins might be a smart move for like this season, but after that, I mean, is it really worth it? Because now you have Aaron Rodgers coming back, you're not going to be able to pay that quarterback big money. Like, if let's say you trade for Kirk Cousins, you're not going to pay him money. starting quarterback money to be a backup for you because Aaron Rodgers is back. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah,
also
exactly.
both aging, so that's not going to do you any good. You know.
Mhm. On top of that,
well, I mean,
I don't think it's good dropping Zach Wilson all the way down to QB3 or like the practice squad. Like,
yeah, or like again, like you're giving up future assets for a quarterback that you're going to use for what, half a season at this point, because Aaron Rodgers is going to come back and take a spot. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's not really not worth it, to be honest.
Very true.
love the Jets though.
They are definitely showing that they have the guile. As
Thank you, Joe.
as the FIFA commentators would say, they are showing
Opening
that
it up.
He has the guy.
Yep.
Yes.
I just think us.
Well, moving on. You know, what do we think about? Kind of speaking on like our last week topic of these injuries going on. You know, Anthony Richardson is now out for the season. What are we thinking?
How do
How do we
that is
feel
a
about that?
tough loss for the Colts.
That's a real tough loss.
It's looking at the Colts, right? I just want to looking at the
At least it
Colts.
wasn't like the first drive of their first game, you know.
I mean, they've won so far. They've won against.
They beat the Ravens.
Have they already played the Jaguars twice? They've already
Yeah,
played the Jaguars.
yeah, they played them twice.
So they lost to the Jaguars twice, but they beat the Texans, they beat the Ravens, they beat the Titans. So they're 3-3. And it's at a point where, like, if Anthony Richardson was healthy, he probably would have. He probably could lead them close to the playoffs, if not like wild card. Obviously, I don't think they're gonna win their division, but it could be. They could make like sneak in at like 7, something like that.
I mean, unless JT wakes up, then they could potentially like.
But it's just like that's.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of feel bad.
I mean, it's
okay, Bobby.
100%. It feels bad. It's also interesting because like I remember going through the draft, they said he was the most NFL ready. Like he was the guy who they could chuck in.
And he's such like a good person too. Like if you read like some of the things that he does, he's like a really great person. He's really easy to root for, you know. So I personally really like Anthony Richardson. I liked him coming out of the draft a lot.
And he looked good. Like he looked like he was like progressively getting a little better.
And he like came like straight into the NFL and was kind of lighting it up. Honestly, to be honest, he was playing really well, but he kept kind of getting like small injuries, and then he got this one, which honestly didn't look crazy bad. I mean, but it's a shoulder injury, and on a quarterback that could be pretty bad. And it's now confirmed that he's out. Well, Jim Irsay says he's out for the season, and to be honest, that's not really confirmed. But honestly, I think from the Colts' perspective, they don't see the season going much further. They just signed JT to an extension. So they want Anthony Richardson to stay healthy, get healthy for next season. So when they come back and actually potentially have a playoff run next year, I think is what they're thinking.
I mean, looking at his stats here, I keep going back to the stats. I'm turning into a big stat guy. Exactly. I mean, first through the 4 games that he's played. So Tennessee on here on ESPN. It's Tennessee, LA, Houston, Jacksonville. Passing wise, he has 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Not bad. About maybe like 500-ish yards, maybe a little more. And rushing wise, though, he has about 120 yards rushing and 4 rushing touchdowns for that team. So that's
I mean, he was doing really good. He was doing amazing.
7 touchdowns from that team have come from him, something on him, which is like that's gonna be kind of hurtful unless JT wakes up. But Jonathan Taylor wakes up and can take over that rushing from Anthony Richardson, and Gardner Minshew becomes a second coming of who's a good backup, second coming of like
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles, exactly. Second coming.
Brock Purdy.
I guess Tom Brady was a backup.
Yeah, but there's levels. There's levels. Unless Minshew Mania wakes up and becomes as big as it was when he first got in the league and like started playing good, I don't see the Colts doing as well. I still see that they're not gonna they're gonna win more games. Looking at their schedule here, it's
I could see them as like a 6-7 win team maybe.
They got the next game is against the Browns, the Saints, the Panthers, the Patriots, the Buccaneers, Titans, Bengals. So they're playing teams where they have the ability. They definitely have the ability to go out and win. But there's also that could be that thing of like there's games where they're not the favorites. Like, I guess looking at this, the Browns is the one where they're probably not the favorites. Maybe the Saints, maybe the Raiders, maybe the Steelers, depending on how those two teams continue to work. It's just those are like, their season might not be as beneficial as it was going to be with Anthony Richardson, but I don't see it being the end for them. They're going to win more games. It's just they're not going to win those big ones.
Yeah, they're going to not have that X factor at QB. And that's kind of going to be a hurt, but I don't think they expect it to go super far this season anyway, so it's not like crazy. As long as it's nothing long term or doesn't hurt Anthony Richardson's career long term, then I think they're in a fine spot. Honestly, it wasn't like the Colts were in talks for being a good Super Bowl contender, so
maybe they start tanking early. Pick up that high draft pick.
I mean, yeah, it's possible.
Caleb Williams coming to Indianapolis.
No way. That's a Bears pick right there. That's a Bears pick.
Justin Fields, you are a Guangdong Tiger. Congrats. Ni hao, Justin Fields.
Guangdong Tigers. Ni hao.
Crazy. How are we feeling about a Dak Prescott? Speaking of quarterbacks,
I could go into like a little. I genuinely do not think Dak Prescott is a fan. Like he's if he's in the NFL, he's obviously a good quarterback. I don't like Dak Prescott as a quarterback. Looking at 15, he's just, for what they expect from him and what people make it seem like he does, he's not all that. Whenever I hear like Cowboys fans like, "Oh, Dak Prescott is the guy. He is him. He is going to be the quarterback and lead us into the future." That's what they were saying. He's been in the league for 7 years now. He's thrown 69 interceptions through those 7 years.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Oh, hurry your mouth.
It's just like I remember I saw, I forgot where it was on TikTok. It was like a heated debate, and it was, why is it okay to? No, it was some dude was bashing Jalen Hurts for saying he wasn't a good quarterback, but he was defending Dak Prescott, and then he also started bashing Brock Purdy while defending Dak Prescott, and it's just like, looking at that, it's like I will gladly take both Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy over Dak Prescott for this season and last season. If like for this season, yes. Last season, yes. I'd take both of them. It's just like that's just, I don't know. It's just, I'm not sold on Dak Prescott still.
I feel like at this point he's 30 years old. You're either you know what you have with him, and I mean the Cowboys are comfortable with that. I don't think Dak Prescott deserves all that much hate. Yes, he turns over the ball a lot, but I think the Cowboys know this by now, and they have kind of built an offense around him to kind of help him succeed, and they think that they can win with him. So I mean, clearly they do, because they're sticking with him, and they have such a good defense that they probably could win with him. And he's not that horrible. He reminds me of Kirk Cousins. Just like he's your guy. He's average. He's not gonna go above and beyond. He's not gonna win you those tight games when you need him. But he's going to just kind of be reliable. He's gonna be like a decent, okay quarterback that will do the job. He's gonna do the job that he was assigned to do, but he's not gonna go above and beyond. He's not gonna do crazy bad, Yeah. I think that's the player Dak Prescott is, and at 30 years old, he's not gonna get any much better or really from here. What you have with him.
In my opinion, he's overrated. Don't get me wrong. But really? I feel like my thing with Dak Prescott.
Hold on, today, really quickly before you move on. How do you think he's overrated?
Me, personally, okay. First off, I was gonna get there, by the way, because one, with the receiver core that he has now, and I think that he has a decent receiver core, I feel like he doesn't link up with them very well. And for example, Gallup. type of thing. I feel like I'm watching him play type of thing, and like I feel like there's so many times throughout the game where he's either open, not getting the ball, or he's open and the ball is like just like being like poorly thrown to him. I feel like there's only like certain receivers that he can really lock in with type of thing. And obviously one of them being CeeDee Lamb, that's a CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, But like and I don't feel like he can just lock in with every receiver versus there's other like who are quarterbacks that are getting the same rating that are locking in with every receiver. For example. Just to like throw that out there. On top of that, like I don't think Dak Prescott's a bad QB by any means. I still think he's a good QB. I think there's a bunch of QBs in the league right now that are far worse than him, at least this season as well. And I think, and I do think that, don't get me wrong, I know he turns over the ball like a ton, But at the same time, the Cowboys defense, they've been building that up for like years, simply because they know he turns over the ball a lot, so that way they can get the ball back.
So I don't think so. I don't think he's overrated at all, to be honest.
I mean, I think that some people praise him a little too much.
Yes.
Like, I mean, Cowboys fans. I mean, who else other than Cowboys fans do you hear like Dak Prescott?
Fair. Listen.
No, that's also fair. Yeah. There's a lot too many Cowboys fans.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, Joe. I just think there's so much worse QBs. That, like, I would say there is no more than 20 like NFL caliber QBs are like really, really good.
Are we counting
in the world
this season? I think
I would count rookies this season.
No, I think of this you're counting. I don't think you count rookies yet. I think it's too early to count them.
I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, let's disregard rookies because there's some that I feel like Bryce Young. I don't think he's a bust yet.
Yes.
But he needs to do better. So I'm not going to include him.
One season, I think there's definitely more. Like, there's not within that category of playing more than one season. There's not like superstar, like not even superstar, superstar / star caliber.
Exactly. If there's not a lot of good QBs in the league, like let's be honest, like QB is a very difficult position, and there's not a lot of very good ones. So when you have a guy like Dak Prescott, who is not bad, I don't think he's very bad. He's okay. He's not amazing, but he's going to do the job. I think you got to keep a guy like that and try and win games with him. Yeah, he's going to need a little bit more help. He's going to need a little bit of like a more like a simple playbook or a better offensive coordinator or some help on the receivers or whatnot, or a good offensive line like the Cowboys do have. But I mean, he's going to get the job done for you, and I think that's okay. I mean, when you have a guy like that, okay.
I have a question for you guys. Who do you think is a better like QB? And this is just a question, no matter what the answer is, it could be whatever. Who do you think is a better QB? Dak Prescott or Lamar Jackson?
Lamar.
Oh, Lamar Jackson. What?
Lamar Jackson, right?
That's not even close. Well,
it says right here, and this is just a report, Dak is the better QB. And so, in like this is just one report. This was the first report that I found. For example, I didn't do digging. This was the first report that popped up. I literally just typed it in. Obviously, if I did do digging, I could probably find more. And so that's why I personally feel that he is overrated because people are taking him over Lamar Jackson now. And I also wouldn't be surprised if like people were taking him over QBs like Tua. I feel like Tua's accuracy this year has been pinpoint. In fact, and like the fact that he's able to act like his throwing capabilities have improved, especially since last year. I feel like last year the balls were like really slow. They weren't like darts. This year he's been able to keep up with like Tyreek Hill and stuff like that on the ball. Like last year I was watching him throw the ball and it was always behind Tyreek Hill. I'm like, why haven't Tyreek Hill if you're throwing the ball that slow? This year it's been keeping up with him at least. But like I feel like a lot of people would take Dak Prescott over Tua.
And they would for sure, but I want to say I feel like that is not because of Dak Prescott being overrated, but Tua being overhated. Like literally nobody likes Tua, and I don't know why. And as a Dolphins fan, it's very disrespectful. Like, how dare you? Tua is such a great quarterback. Like MVP, like we'll get to it, but MVP right now. If the league stopped right now, Tua's MVP.
Yeah, the league stopped right now. Yeah, I don't 100% see him getting the MVP.
If he keeps playing the way he's playing, 100%. Because the thing is, it's not that, like, on top of Tua just playing amazing and the best he's played in his career and playing leagues above like everybody else,
Yeah.
guys like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, those typical MVP caliber players aren't playing at their usual self. Not because they're like regressing or anything. Patrick Mahomes, not like he's playing worse or anything. He just doesn't have that same offense that he did before. Travis Kelce's getting a bit older. Injuries are hitting him. He doesn't really have receiver help. Yeah, no receiver help. So again, like it's not because Patrick Mahomes is bad. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying that is a part of. I mean, you have to play well to win MVP, and Tua is doing that right now. So if he keeps playing the way he's playing, then he's gonna. I think he should win MVP.
Different O line, different offensive coordinator. Yeah, no. I get it. And don't get me wrong, Tua is definitely playing good. Like I think right now he's like 300 yards over like the second place runner up right now. If it were to end right now, so I think if that.
Yeah, and he's played about a half less than those other guys because we go up by so many points that they take him out the game.
Yeah, I do think though that I think that he would be 100% clear if he started linking up with Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, but I feel like
it's
slowly getting better and better. Yeah, Jalen Waddle hasn't gotten too much production, but he did miss a game, and he left the game early. So I mean, but last week they had quite the connection, and it was fun to watch.
Claypool.
I'm sorry?
You have Chase Claypool now.
That's right, Claypool now. Yeah,
I do. Yeah, and that's a great third receiver to have. I like Chase. I think Chase Claypool can really revive his career. I mean, I don't think he's a bad player at all. I think he's kind of been in bad situations.
I think he's also. I don't want to say dumb, but looking at some moments, there have been some dumb moments he had. It was like, what was it? Pittsburgh. It was like 30 seconds left, or maybe a minute left. He caught the ball for first down instead of rushing back to the line. He takes the time to hit the first down celebration, and his teammates are just looking at him like, "What are you doing? Why are you celebrating right now? We need to get pushed down and keep going." So it's just
those wide receiver threes, man. They gotta get their love.
No, I think that's when he was a number one.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, Chase Claypool was like a number one receiver for a little bit with the Steelers. I think not only has he been in bad situations, but he's very much like a confidence player. And like as a young player, like when he was in Pittsburgh, you need that confidence to kind of get going and really like hit the ground running. And it's different for everybody. Some players like take that adversity and they run with it, but other players aren't. When adversity hits them, they just fall to the ground. And that is partially coaching, but it's also just part of like your person. And Chase Claypool, I think, is one of those players. So I think if he gets that confidence in Miami, he could really be a solid number 3 receiver and be pretty good and revive his career.
If he doesn't revive his career, I think it's time he goes to Guangdong.
Also,
you and these Tigers, man.
Bobby, I have a question for you. As a Dolphins fan and everything, how do you feel about Devon A-Chain out?
It's Aiken actually.
My fault. Aiken.
But I mean, it sucks because he's such a good young player, and honestly, he was playing so amazing. He could have been Offensive Rookie of the Year, just because the lack of like rookie production this year, from the offensive side. But if he kept playing the way he was playing, I think he could have been Offensive Rookie of the Year. So it does suck. But as far as team wise, the Dolphins wise, I don't think it's that detrimental. I mean, it does suck for sure. I mean, to lose a player like that. But Mostert's been playing out of his mind. He's been playing some of the best football in his entire career. We're getting Jeff Wilson back, and if he plays pretty well, then that's another good running back to have in the room. And we also have Chris Brooks, who I don't know if you saw that monster run, bro. That guy.
Honestly,
he's a rookie, and I mean, I know it was against the Panthers, and he's gotten very limited opportunities, but he looked pretty decent. I mean, he didn't look bad. He left with injury, but he should be back, and that's just a good like power back to have in the room, So I'm not too worried about it, honestly.
I think
team wise,
at this point, also right, even with like running backs getting hurt, you have enough speed in your wide receiver room to just let your wide receivers take some rushes. Honestly,
yeah.
Honestly, I can see Jalen Waddle, in the back.
Waddle. I also think that scheme wise, like a lot of it is like Raheem Mostert and Devon A-Chain are playing amazing, and like they are like genuinely like pretty good running backs. But I think even if you throw a guy in there that's not amazing, right? We have a good enough scheme that they'll do all right. They'll do enough, kind of like a Dak Prescott of running backs. They'll just do enough, which will be okay. We won't have those big 70-yard runs like we've been having with a not good running back in there. But the scheme is good enough to where they'll get 10 yards, pick up a first down when needed, So I think it'll be all right.
Oh, cool. Okay. No, as long as the Dolphins fan is chilling, you know the Dolphins are chilling.
That's fair.
No.
Exactly. You know, speaking of kind of like we kind of talked a little bit that MVP at Tua. What are some of the early awards that we're thinking are going on, like Offense Player of the Year, Defense Player of the Year, that type of stuff?
I mean,
All right,
going
Joey,
based
over it.
off. You want to go? Okay, I go.
Yeah, we'll do
Do
offensive
we
player of
want
the
to
year
start?
first.
Well, then let's start with Coach of the Year. Actually,
Coach of the year. Okay,
let's start
I
with
think
Coach of the Year.
my list is going to consist of. I think you guys are gonna notice one very a team that's they've. I think this team has overperformed. So I think they're gonna take over a lot of a lot of these
Keep
awards.
going, Joe.
I genuinely think what's the name? Coach of the year, Dan Campbell out in Detroit had a
Yeah.
solid shout for Coach of the Year. I think that what
Yeah,
he's doing
he was
there
one of my candidates as well.
in Detroit, fantastic. So it's like they're playing good. They're playing good football.
Mhm.
Players are performing well.
You can tell by watching them that they're such a well coached team.
You can tell that he's liked in that locker room, which is like
Yeah, he is such a that team is so well coached and it's suited Dan Campbell. Yeah, he's definitely up there for
All right, no, that's
Coach of the Year.
fair.
Can
But
we, after I have one question. Can we do a reverse Coach of the Year? No, it's not an official NFL award, but can we just talk about who who should be the farthest away from that?
Ooh,
all right, well, here I'll go next, and you guys are low key probably gonna hate my take,
You're gonna say
given that like I was low key clowning on them earlier. But I feel like the majority of their success has come from their coach and not the players, and that's the Cowboys' Mike McCarthy. And I don't know, like that may be an L take as a person who doesn't know a lot about football and stuff like that. But like watching their games and stuff like that, I feel like the majority of their success is not from the players. I feel like their receiver core, they only have CeeDee Lamb, and Tony Pollard has basically done nothing. And I'm not a big fan of Dak Prescott, so their success, I feel like mainly is McCarthy. You know, that could be an outtake. You know, a lot of people may not agree with it, but I still think that he's like.
I think they have amazing players, and I think that's why they're playing well. I don't think they're particularly well coached.
Listen, I'm just saying. I also watching them type of thing. I feel like a lot of like the calling of the plays and everything like that, mainly coming from him, has been very rapid. Like those players, like they literally they don't even got to look at him. He's already like doing stuff, you know, and he's like do this. Like I feel like he's one of the few coaches in the league right now, and obviously experience, you know, that is always like 20 steps ahead to everything. Like you already know what's gonna happen when this happens.
He's definitely a good coach.
Oh no, definitely.
He's a good coach. I don't think Coach of the Year running though.
Listen, if the Cowboys could somehow like keep doing well, you know, obviously, you know, they're kind of peaked and then they're going down a little bit. But I feel like if they could reach that peak again and hit those heights that they did at the beginning of the season, then I could see it. Because man, they were doing really good, and I was kind of like enjoying watching them play. But now it's like whatever, you know. Anyway, Bobby, on to you. You can go now.
Okay. Well, I just want to answer Joe's question. The worst coach, I think, and I had to search up his name because I didn't even know his freaking name. Dennis Allen for the Saints. He's the Saints coach. He's I think done the worst job. They're bad. I mean, they're not even that bad of a team, to be honest. But like their coach, like I don't think he's doing a very good coaching job at all. He was the defensive coordinator, and he moved to head coach. And the best part of the team isn't even their defense. I don't think.
I don't. Fair.
Their defense isn't. I mean, their offense isn't that amazing either. But I mean, none of their team is, to be honest. Like,
no,
they're not very.
I rate their offense though. Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, like.
No, that's what I'm saying. They have good weapons. Like they do. They have a decent team, but they're not winning games and they're not looking very convincing. Their offense is pretty lackluster. Their defense is mediocre at best.
Yeah, in my opinion, they have
good pieces.
Potential going into this year.
Yeah, they have good pieces. So really, I think it's a poor coaching job by Dennis Allen there. I think that's farthest away from Coach of the Year right now.
I mean, looking at like if you go record wise, like a lot of people would say Frank Reich in Carolina because they're 0-6. But even then, they haven't been playing necessarily horrible. There's been glimpses of like, hey, this is there. and I think the big part of it, the struggle there was, I don't know, they're just now giving their offensive coordinator the ability to call plays. He was calling all the plays, and they had to simplify it down for Bryce Young because they were just throwing it in. So I was like, he could be there. I want to say, I think in my mind, I want to say, who's the Broncos coach?
Well, there we go.
Sean Payton, bro.
Sean Payton, or the one the Atlanta coach.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know the name.
I'm gonna have to go, right? And this may, I know maybe. No, honestly, I don't think it's an outtake. I'm gonna go with Matt Eberflus.
Who?
For the Bears.
For the
never
Bears.
mind. Yeah, that's not a hot take at all. That's invalid.
Okay, thank you. I just had to make sure.
I mean,
sometimes
as much as JJ, he isn't the greatest coach. I don't want to put all the blame on him. To be fair.
No, definitely not. But I feel like if you look at the Bears last year, they showed potential. Not like crazy potential, but this year they completely fell off.
Yeah, they look horrible.
Like
last year, they lost almost every game last year, but they looked good, which is weird to say.
Yeah.
But I want to say good. They looked pretty decent. They had flashes, but this year they look bad.
Do like something this year.
Yeah, exactly. But this year they look bad. They look really bad.
And obviously, you got to put the blame somewhere. You can't put it on the players. It's the same roster, so got to put it on the head coach.
Okay, yeah, and as a head coach, you have to be ready to take that criticism because it's all going to come back on you, no matter if it is you or not. So
yeah, no, naturally.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. For the awards, do you just want to go through the big ones?
Coach of the year. I just want to say my take. And you guys are gonna hate me because it's gonna be biased, but I'm gonna say Mike McDaniel.
I was gonna say he's a good shout. He is a good shout.
No.
If not Dan Campbell, because we already talked about him and Joe. That was your pick because he was one of my picks. I want to pick Mike McDaniel because he has created one of the most revolutionary and dynamic offenses we have seen in our lifetime, but also in the last 60 years. We're putting up some crazy numbers. So there's actually, I forget which stat it was, but the gap from the number 1 offense, which is the Dolphins, to the number 2 offense, which is the Eagles, is larger than the gap from the Eagles to the very worst offense in the NFL. The gap is larger in yards per game and stuff like that. So that's crazy. So that's why I want to put Mike McDaniel for running of offense or coach of the year.
I like Mike McDaniel because when I think of him, when I see him, hear him talk and talk about football, it's all even in games. It's just F it, we ball. That's genuinely what the type of vibe he gives off is just we ball.
Yeah, exactly. And also, he is very loved by the players. In multiple interviews, all the players have loved him. And actually, a tweet just came out. Blake Ferguson replied to a tweet of Mike McDaniel mic'd up or something, and he said, "I would die for this guy." So he's very loved in the locker room as well. So I think he's doing a great job for the Dolphins.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right, who's your shout?
He said Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy.
Oh yeah, that's right. Somebody who just really quickly before we move on. I know we've been on this for a long time, but really quick, I'm just going to touch on it really quickly. D'Amico Ryans for the Texans has been doing a phenomenal job. I think. I don't think he's going to win Coach of the Year, but I just want to point out that he's been doing amazing, and he is definitely in that top 5 Coach of the Year conversation for right now. He's doing amazing things for this Texans team.
I want to point out a coach, in my opinion, that has potential. Robert Saleh, bro, or Salah. I don't even know how to pronounce his name 100% because I've only read articles, and I don't watch things. Okay, I only read things. Okay, so for me, it's seeing these names type of thing. Sometimes it's kind of difficult. But I have to say that if Zach Wilson turns things around, because he's shown glimpses type of thing. In my opinion, that man right there is going to be a GOAT. Because that man has stuck through all of this type of thing. I don't know how, because not even I could have done that. And I didn't. Now I am. But I turned my back on him for a while there. So, honestly, if he turns things around, because even the old players, the players in the locker room, apparently things were getting a little heated at points because of how bad Zach Wilson was. And, demanding that we get rid of him and, get someone else, But he didn't. And if Zach Wilson turns things around, Robert Saleh can go for this, Anyway, you guys can keep going now. I just want to
I agree.
Do we want
to talk about rookies of the year as well?
Rookie, I mean, offensively,
I don't know how well versed you guys are. I think I have my picks for the rookies of the year.
offensively, I want to say like if CJ Stroud continues to perform well,
Yeah,
probably be CJ
that's who I was
Stroud.
gonna say.
Puka would be a good shout.
Yeah.
If he can continue that form, he had an off week last week. If he continues his first 5-week form, Puka's a good shout. Bijan Robinson, obviously. Those I would say those are the three big front runners.
See, I want
Yeah.
to say Bijan, but he
Agree.
has been in a slump lately.
I know that's why if he has to pick it up.
Yeah, if he picks it up again like he was
I don't,
beginning
I
of
don't think
season.
Bijan's gonna get it just because of the type of offense he's in. He's not gonna get that
Oh,
that volume
edge,
that you
yeah.
need out of a rookie of the year.
Stroud though, that's a good one.
He should.
Yeah,
Desmond
but I
Ridder
would say
sucks, so he
Stroud is
should lean on him.
clear the front runner right now. Stroud.
Yeah,
100%.
Stroud, and if Puka keeps his form, he could be up there for the talks too.
He could as well, yeah. But typically, just because he's a quarterback and he's been doing really good in his rookie year,
Yeah.
By a well-coached team, D'Amico Ryans, I'm telling you, yeah, I think he's gonna be the front runner for rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year, right at this moment. And for defensive rookie of the year, I gotta say, for me personally, it's Jalen Carter. He, I think, has just been the most impactful for his team.
That's good.
And for somebody who had supposedly had some off-field issues before the draft, has really seemed to have turned that around and been amazing in the locker room for the Eagles. And as a rookie, that's amazing and really impactful on the field. I think he has some of the best pressure numbers for any defensive lineman, let alone rookies. So I think he's by far the defensive rookie of the year.
The giant tackle, right? Like remember the pictures where before the draft and I know he played for Georgia. He was the guy that just towered over everybody, right? Jalen Carter, am I thinking of the right guy? There's one picture. One second, let me look up.
Probably, if we find it, we could probably just insert the photo here.
Yeah, I'll put it right down there. But it's just he's absolutely just towering over everybody. He's just a big dude. I think he's a good shout, and I mean maybe a second close contender, Devon Witherspoon. He's been pretty good for the Seahawks.
Yeah, he's been pretty good as well. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Shouts.
Oh, I was gonna say Witherspoon. To be fair, that's why I have.
At least.
Yeah, somebody who I want to talk about. Just he got injured, but I think without being injured and if he could stay on the field, somebody who's been playing really well is Christian Gonzalez. I mean, he's been kind of getting thrown into that Patriots defense. But he's been holding his own pretty decently. He's been amazing. So just kind of shout out to him. He if he can really pick up his form. If he can really pick up his form and start playing really good ball like he has been, and stay on the field, of course, then he can really be.
He's done for the season, no?
Is he?
I want to say. I.
Oh, you know what? Yeah.
He
is out for the season.
They got JC Jackson. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why.
Yeah, I totally forgot he's out for the season. I remember he got injured, but I forgot he was out for that's
Yeah,
but he could have been a good shout.
Well,
if you would have,
I forgot about this one later. I think we actually talked about that the other week too.
Are we gonna put that the shout out in the description this week? Is just shout out Christian Gonzalez because he's watching 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course.
Oh yeah, no. He's also Instagram too.
He's Colombian. Heck yeah.
All right. So anyway, we'll put his Instagram down there too. We'll get him some followers, boost his page up a little bit.
Are we skipping comeback player or?
No. I want to talk about comeback player of the year. Of course.
It might be a little early.
I mean, yeah.
I think I feel like there's an obvious answer, guys.
Jared Goff.
Who said that?
Zach Wilson.
No.
We had three very different now.
No.
Realistically, I think
I think it's gonna go to DeMar Hamlin because they're like that. But realistically, on how the award should go, Tua I think is obviously the front runner for comeback player of the year.
I mean, if he wins MVP, then
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to quickly kind of touch on that. I mean, for Tua to get multiple, possibly 3 concussions last year, and then to come back this year and play at an MVP level, is ridiculous. So, yeah.
They should have shut him down.
So I don't know if you guys have anything else to add, but if not, we can move on to defensive player of the year.
No, I think JJ and I kind of agree. Comeback player, Tua is probably the front runner for that. Or should
Yeah.
be the front runner sitting that.
All right, you guys ready for defensive player of the year?
All right.
Yep.
JJ, we know
Who do you have?
he's gonna say Sauce.
Sauce Gardner.
No, not even close.
Give
Not
me-
even close.
Give me. Hold up.
Honestly, okay, I'm not too like caught up with my defensive players naturally, but I know there was one player on the 49ers. Don't know his name at all. I'm not gonna lie.
Fred Warner.
Fred Warner. Fred Warner is a good shout.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a
And
great shot.
I've been really impressed with him. Another player that like only because I've been watching this team a little bit. It's probably Micah Parsons.
Yep.
I don't know if he's like
He's
up
been
there,
amazing,
like,
yeah.
but like I've noticed him and
Yeah,
he's
he
been
is.
playing really good.
You know.
Last game he did all right. I think he only got like 2 sacks last
Honestly,
game.
I think
But-
both those shouts are like top 5 favorites right now.
Give
That's
me,
fair. All right.
give
That
me-
might be pushing it. That might be pushing it, depending on how some people's views. But I think they're both like top 5 defensive players right now. Fred Warner for sure. Honestly, if it weren't for who I'm going to say defensive player of the year, I would say Fred Warner is second for me.
Who
Fair
are
enough.
you gonna say, Bobby?
I'm going to say Myles Garrett.
I was actually also gonna say Myles Garrett. That's who I was
Really?
thinking of right
Dude,
now. Myles Garrett is
Just because he's been playing out of his mind.
He's
Dude, did you see the video of him like doing crossovers before
Dude,
the snap
he
and
did-
then
that's his
absolutely
Dude,
obliterate?
that's his thing. Myles Garrett is terrifying. Let's just
Dude.
say, listen, like if I see Myles Garrett running at me, I'm running the opposite direction.
Dude, and he'd probably catch you. To be honest, he's
Honestly,
fast.
I mean, he'd catch me. I just hope he doesn't have a helmet in his hand.
Oh, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
I mean, no.
Yeah.
No. That's definitely a good take. Judging by how the Browns defense is doing, and he's been leading all of it. You know.
Yeah, and so Trent Williams, by the way, arguably the best tackle in football right now,
Struggle.
got destroyed
Struggle
by
with
Yeah.
like not just struggled. He honestly did bad against Myles Garrett. And after the game, the like part of the reason I want to say Myles Garrett right now at this moment is after the game, Trent Williams said that Myles Garrett was the best player he's ever faced like in his entire career. And don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was something along those lines.
Yeah.
You
So,
know what?
He's a freak of nature. He's definitely, I think, top 3. Warner, Parsons, Garrett. Not in that
Yeah,
order.
Trent Williams called Myles Garrett a Hall of Famer
Oh, potentially.
after the game. Yeah. So, yeah, that's crazy to me.
What's the next word we got?
Offensive player of the year.
Ooh.
I have one in mind. This is going based off the fact that whoever wins MVP will not win. We're going based off that, right? We'll not win offensive. That's typically how it goes. Give me Tyreek Hill. Offensive player of the year, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tyreek Hill as well. Since Jay Jettis is injured, like
Yeah.
Or-
If he hits 2,000
or
yards,
CMC.
for sure.
one of those two. Has to be one of those two. Either
But the issue is that
All right,
since
I'm
McCaffrey
just-
got injured, I feel like a lot of like his stats and like stuff like that is definitely gonna be altered. So, but if he could come back,
they're
but, like-
talking about him playing this week on Monday, considering they have the extra day. I
Oh,
think
yeah?
it was
Mhm.
for the rib injury. They're gonna give him like a flak jacket, and they just say, "Go
Perfect.
have fun."
That's possible. I think
CMC.
part of it, being offensive player of the year is your impact to the team that you're on. And as much as as a Dolphins fan, I want to say Tyreek Hill. Now, if he gets 2,000 yards in the season and becomes the first receiver to do it, he's 100% offensive player of the year. But if he doesn't, and let's say he comes very close or whatever, and he still has an amazing season, if we're going off of like who had the biggest impact on their team, Tyreek Hill, yes, has had a huge impact,
Mhm.
but I think the Dolphins would survive without him. Make Jalen Waddle your number 1 receiver, kind of move everybody up one. I think they would still be in a similar place where they are now.
I think comparing that,
But now
to like
do that
CMC,
to the 49ers and CMC. What CMC has brought to that 49ers team is pretty much unparalleled. And that's why I think just slightly, I'm going to have him above Tyreek Hill, my offensive player of the year.
Yeah. Also, the only reason I have CMC like looking at it just a little higher is because, in my opinion, being a running back going for offensive player in the year is much harder than being a wide receiver going for offensive player of the year. And I don't maybe like I feel like being a running back is a little bit harder than especially being a running back of the caliber of Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
You know, like, don't get me wrong, Tyreek Hill out of this world, but I feel like every once in a while we have a wide receiver that is also out of this world like Tyreek Hill. Not often, but like maybe once a decade, Whereas Christian McCaffrey, a running back of that level type of thing, like that comes like we haven't seen that in like a long, long time, that type of. So,
I think at his level for like a long time. I think like running backs, like we'll see like a really, really good running back just have a random breakout year and then fall off. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But to be like Christian McCaffrey's level for many, many years, like he has been, I think that's what's super difficult for running backs. But I do gotta say, and this may be jumping the gun a little bit, but both of them might be future Hall of Famers. Just put it out there.
If they,
Just put it out there. I think Tyreek Hill for sure is a Hall of Famer.
If they, okay, no, he won a ring, right? He won a championship.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like that plays a big role in Hall of Fame now. Is like the rings.
The ring, yeah.
So if
I guess so.
If McCaffrey wins one, yes. If Tyreek wins more, another one, yes. Because that would be two different teams for him. Two different teams, yeah.
And
being such an instrumental part in both teams.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like Tyreek, obviously not a definite. I feel like his chances are a little bit higher of becoming like a Hall of Famer. But McCaffrey, like, I don't know. I feel like it just depends on how far the 49ers make it like this year. Like even if they don't happen to like win the Super Bowl, like he's such like a phenomenal player that even if like they make it to like the semis type of thing, and he performs all year, and then how he's performed in the past few years, and then even if he can perform next year, then yeah, no, he's got them in the bag.
Yeah.
Well, not in the bag, but like you know what I mean. Like it is definitely a potential. And the way that he has been playing, like it's definitely a potential as of this point. The way the 49ers have been playing, I see them making it to the Super Bowl as of right now. Obviously,
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe jumping the gun for as of right now, just by a little bit. But talk end of the season, and I don't think it will be jumping the gun.
Yeah, especially if they keep the form that they're at.
Exactly.
No. Moving on, the next topic we have is MVP. Who do we got for MVP?
Okay, I feel like the front runner obviously is Tua.
Right now, yeah.
Based off how I have a sleeper pick. I genuinely have a sleeper pick.
Zach Wilson.
Okay.
If they keep performing the way that they are, I want to actually bring up Jared Goff. Because he has transformed his career in Detroit. I remember, calling people were like saying after that Super Bowl with the Rams, people were saying like the season after he was dog. He was like, he could never do that again. They traded him to Detroit for Matt Stafford, and obviously that worked out. It worked out for them, right?
Yeah, they won a Super Bowl.
Worked out for them. And then Jared Goff, over the last few seasons, has been like, he's taken the step up. He's gotten better. I think he's been
amazing. He actually had at one point like the most passes without an interception for a long time. So he threw an interception like a few weeks ago. He has
on the Rams.
Amazing.
Last season on the Rams, he had 13 interceptions. The season before that, he had 16. He's had 8, 7, and he has 3 this year. But last year he had 29 touchdowns last year as well. I think he's honestly reinventing himself on Detroit. And if he continues that, I think if he continues that and plays out of his mind for the rest of the games and Tua has like a little bit of a dip, I can take that. But right now it is Tua is the
yeah.
I would agree. I think it is Tua, but something I could see happening. Let's say Tyreek Hill does get 2,000 yards, right? He becomes the first receiver to ever do it. He plays out of this world, right? But you also have CMC, who does what we're talking. He stays healthy and he plays again out of this world, and he brings something to that 49ers team that like nobody else can do, right? I could see a CMC Offensive Player of the Year and Tyreek Hill MVP. That would be pretty crazy.
That would,
or vice versa.
Or vice versa, either way. But I think I genuinely think, though, if Tyreek Hill gets 2,000 yards, I feel like that's just like the threshold that would have to be broken for him to win MVP. And I think at that point he would.
Yeah, but then if he doesn't break 2,000 yards, and then let's say CMC still has this phenomenal, like something we've never seen before, vice versa,
Yeah, for sure.
It's a possibility, you know. I definitely do think it's a little too early in the season to like as of the rate that they're going at now, yes. But because like they're not a QB, you know what I mean? I feel like
It's so hard. MVP is such a QB award.
Yeah, exactly. So like in order to be like, oh, they could win it this early on, it's a little too early in my opinion to be like, oh yeah, no, they can win it.
Yeah.
Like I'm rooting for them, don't get me wrong. Like to watch a CMC or Tyreek Hill, like I have Tyreek Hill on my fantasy team. If he could do that good type of thing, I would love to see that, you know? Even as a Jets fan type of thing, I mean, it'd be nice, you know? Or the CMC too, you know, like watching a running back of all positions, you know? Like, that'd be crazy. Like, that's my take. Like, I'm rooting for someone that's not a QB to honestly win it this year. Those two have potential.
If there's ever a time for it to happen, it's this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's not this season, I don't think we're gonna get close to it anytime soon.
Yeah, for sure. That's probably something that JJ you should gamble on. To be honest, you should make a bet who's going to win MVP. Because recently you've had some very good luck.
Can you just go over your the big one?
Do you want to just tell the people what you did?
No, might as well. You know, while we're at it. Well, to say the least, I clicked the wrong button. I only put in $5. And by doing so, I made $500. We got going on. Let's see here. So we got. So my first of all, I put the over for all of them. Right. I was like, you know what? Every single time I put the under, they always go over by like 20 times the amount. So I'm always putting the over from now on. Screw it, you know. Unless it's just a horrible player that I know is not going to do anything. But like Jamar Chase, 70. I had 7 of them, by the way, 7 people. Jamar Chase, I had 72.5. They had 72.5 yards. I said he was going over. He got 80. Tyreek Hill, they had 89.5 yards. He got 163. I like blew it out of the water, you know, like practically doubled that. Yeah. And then they had DJ Moore, 4.5 recorded catches, and I had him for the over. You know, last week breakout game, he only got 5 though. I hope he thought he was going to get 6 or 7. I'm not going to lie, but he got it over. But and then 84.5 yards for Stephon Diggs. He got 100, my man. And then McCaffrey, it was over, or they wanted 0.5 or more passing touchdowns to him. He got 1 touchdown.
Let it be known, JJ misunderstood this and thought he had to throw a touchdown. Yeah,
no, I thought it meant he had to throw a touchdown. Like when I put this gamble in, I low-key did not think it was gonna hit. I'm not gonna lie. But he caught the ball and he ran in for a touchdown. I low-key was hoping for like a little like throw it back and then he quickly like tossed it over. You never know. And then they had AJ Brown for 70.5. He got 131. Like the way that he's been playing lately, I was like, gotta take him, you know. And then Cooper Kupp just came back, and in his first game back, he got 118 yards, and I was like, he's only going to do better this week, so I took him for the over as well, and I made $500. I don't know if you can see it on the screen there.
It's not going to focus at all, but we'll take
it'll focus eventually.
If anything, take a screenshot. I'll put it.
Yeah, I got you.
Put it
for sure.
You know,
but yeah, that's crazy, dude. The fact that you won $500 is nuts.
That is.
Yeah, I know, bro. And honestly, if I would have put the $10 in, bro, I wanted to put the $10 in, man. I really did. I would have had 1,000 now. All the garden on me, bro.
Listen, that doesn't that lead you to this week where we're gonna actively?
Okay, well, I mean, if we want to end things off.
Well, we still have to do our predictions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you want to do that first and then this, or do you want to do this first and then that?
Do we do that?
Let's do this.
Okay. So today we're gonna play a little game because since I have so much joy in gambling now, I already put in my Thursday night football bets.
Pause. Let it be known. Be over the age of the legal gambling age and responsibly. Be responsible. Do not gamble your life.
If you need help, call the hotline. It'll be up right here.
Bob, you can put that there.
Yeah, Bobby, you can edit that in, bro.
I got that.
But yes.
Anyways.
Responsibly over the age. If it's legal in your state, let that be known as well. If it's legal in your state.
Or country.
If in the state that we are in the country we're in, it is legal. That's why we do it.
Yes, it is very legal. Everything's legal in Florida except drugs. Remember that.
And that's even kind of iffy, to be honest.
Yeah. No, Florida's a great state, all right? You want to do something, it's chill, all right? It's basically the purge. But to get started...
You just can't murder.
Debatably. Okay, anyways. So I will say I already put in my Thursday night football bet. And so if you want, I can read that off later, type of thing. I don't really think I need to, but like if you guys want me to, it's whatever. You know, I don't think we got time. I mean, I guess we do have time, but like just know it's $10 for a $921 outcome. 6 players in. Not it's a Thursday night football game, and I wasn't gonna go too crazy. Then so tonight, I want you guys to pick for me the over under for Sunday's games. Okay, or Sunday or Monday, but preferably just do Sunday so I don't have to wait too long because I hate waiting. All right, I'm a very impatient person.
I also have the Sunday games up on here.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys want to pull up the game or the app on your phone real quickly. That way you can like look at it. That way I'm not like.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
All right, cool. It's in the Sleeper app, you know.
Okay.
I just want to say we're not sponsored, but I do all my betting through Sleeper, and that's how I got my $500 from.
Sleeper sponsor us.
In my opinion, it's easy. It's easy. It's all set up for you.
Very self-explanatory, to be honest.
Very simple. You just click the over, click down, whatever. You know,
okay.
That's chill.
So these are the ones that they have. You can pick any, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've never used.
Yeah, pretty much. Just click NFL. Yeah, so you just click NFL, and then like just make sure it's not from the Jags or New Orleans because
I'm past that.
Yeah.
I'm past that.
Yeah, gotcha.
All right.
So. All right.
Do you want us to call out ones that we think are gonna hit, or do you want?
So what I'll do is just know you can have a maximum of 8 people, and I'll tell you guys once if I hit a times 100, like the times 100 outcome before that, because you can only go max times 100. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, here's what I'll do. Because I can have max 8, I'll start at Joe, and I'll ask Joe for a player over under, and then you have to tell me if it's like passing, touchdown, stuff like that, and then I'll ask you for one, Bobby. All right?
Okay.
That sound good? All right,
cool.
Joe, you go first.
I'm going to take the over on 0.5 anytime touchdown for Travis Kelce. That game, it's going to be. We've seen it multiple times against the Chargers.
Yep.
Their games, it is constantly scoring against each other. It's close games. They're going to need to throw to people, and Kelce is the guy on that offense that I think is going to be. If anyone's going to catch a touchdown, it's him. And even then, you have the option. He can, or I don't know if you want to do a reception touchdown, but just I think any time touchdown or reception touchdown is probably a better.
I'll do anytime touchdown because they're both times 1.676 on the off chance he does get a running touchdown. Don't think he will.
Or a passing one. We've seen him do that too.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But even then, I think that's a pretty good lock there.
All right, Bobby.
Okay, so I was debating between 2, but I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to do the over on Raheem Mostert rushing touchdown specifically, because you're going to get more if you did that over the anytime touchdown. And it's going to be a 2.27 times multiplier, which is pretty good.
No, that is pretty good. We're already at 4 times, which for $10, 40.
And Raheem Mostert's on a crazy run, and I think he's going to get a touchdown.
The only issue is it is Philly, but still, you know, like I
but like if they get on the goal line, I think he can punch it in, you know.
Especially
without Devon Aiken.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah, Joe?
So let's say you make a bet and then a player's injured, doesn't play. Do you get that or no?
It gets voided.
Okay, I was gonna say because I was about to pick DK Metcalf, who's looking unlikely to play, but give me 1 second to look. For the similar thing, JJ.
Yeah.
If we're going to my next one, Keenan Allen reception touchdown, 2.19 with the over on that.
Okay.
I think we've seen Keenan Allen once again be that guy on the Chargers, and if they're if the Chiefs take a lead, they're gonna need to pass him. So I think that's a better thing there.
All right, Bobby. This is fun. I get to gamble.
I'm gonna take the over on Christian Watson receiving yards. They're playing Denver, and the line's only 48.5, so I think he can.
Give me a second.
I mean, it's Denver, so I mean.
Christian Watson receiving yards on the over. Gotcha. All right.
Do you only want overs?
I mean, if there's like a clear and obvious under, like there's been multiple times like I find a clear and obvious under and I put under and then they hit under, you know. So it's like if you feel that there's one that's like so obvious that it's like how could you not pick the under? Then it's
I have one for my last one that is like semi-serious.
Gotcha. All right.
Like I want to say I'm stuck between 2, either Jared Goff or Lamar Jackson. either of them to get more than it can be your pick to get more than 2 passing touchdowns. I would lean more towards Jared Goff because his receivers have shown to be better. Amon-Ra, Laporta. You have potentially Jahmyr Gibbs coming back this week. You have Jameson Williams, Josh Reynolds. Those guys have been good with catching, holding on to.
Yeah.
And compared to Lamar, his receivers, I go back 2 weeks, dropped I think 30 clear touchdowns they dropped. So I'd feel better doing the over on passing touchdowns for Jared Goff against Baltimore.
No, that's fair. Another reason I think I'm gonna take Jared Goff is because Lamar Jackson in the past 3 games has only thrown 3 passing touchdowns, and he got 2 of them against the Cleveland when Cleveland was basically at their worst, and he got none against Pittsburgh, and he got 1 against the Titans. And whereas Jared Goff in the past 3 games has gotten 6.
Gotcha.
So I think I'm gonna I'll take Jared Goff on the over. I'm fine with that.
How many we got left? 2 more. Bobby's got 2.
So Bobby has 1, and then you got 1, and then Bobby got 1. You got 3 more.
Yep. I'm going to take the over on Aaron Jones anytime touchdown. Actually, you can do, you can do rushing or anytime. You get a little bit more for rushing, but I'm going to do anytime just because he's playing Denver, and I know he's coming back from injury, but I think that's why the line is so high.
Gotcha.
So I think, maybe I am like underestimating Denver a little bit, but they've been so bad defensively.
Denver has been one of
so I think even on like 10 carries, Aaron Jones could get a touchdown. To be honest, so
gotcha. Okay, so you have Aaron Jones on the over. Aaron Jones, he's questionable, no?
But there's
yeah.
Even if he doesn't play, it's voided, right? So you won't miss.
Yeah, it gets voided.
Okay, so if he doesn't play, we'll just like rerun it. We could I'll just take a photo, screenshot it, send it in, and be like, here are the adjustments we made.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Overall, keep pretty much everything the same except for the one player that got voided. You know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Joe, back to you.
My last one. This is coming straight from the heart. Okay.
Oh,
Give me over 1.5 interceptions for Desmond Ridder. That man sucks. He is not going to have a good game against Tampa Bay. If there's anything I feel confident in, it is Desmond Ridder throwing an interception. There have been clips of his coach when it was the 2 interceptions that he threw last week. They were not even close to his team. It was straight to the defense, and his coach was there, and he's like, "Dude, what the heck are you doing?" He is. I want to say he's lucky to be an NFL quarterback just because of how even in a week where he does relatively good, the next week he just doesn't. He reverses all the progress.
Yeah.
If there's something I'm confident in, is he's throwing a pick against Tampa Bay.
I will say we are at the 100 times now, Bobby. So since you're the last pick right now, I'll give you the option to either keep everything the same or change out any pick from before and replace it with something else.
That's fair.
Okay. What are the picks? What are the picks?
So we got Travis Kelce on the over. Okay, how about this actually? Instead of completely changing the player, you can just pick if you want him to go under instead.
Okay.
Type of thing. So that way Joe still gets his player, and then
I had a nice pick.
If Bobby wants to change one, if there's one that you feel deep in the soul you feel is wrong, go for it.
Okay, that's fair then. All right, if Joe's okay with it. All right, so we got Travis Kelce on the over.
I can't protect though. It's the Desmond Ritter one. I'm
not gonna change that one. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about doing that one anyways.
All right, so we got Travis Kelce on the over for the anytime touchdown. Joe thinks he's gonna get 1 touchdown. I won't call out your picks because I'm assuming you want to keep all your picks.
Yeah.
And then we got Keenan Allen to get a touchdown, 1 recorded passing touchdown. And then you got Jared Goff to throw 2 touchdowns, and then Desmond Ridder to throw an interception.
I think I want to change the Kelce one to go for DeAndre Swift over on rushing yards.
Okay.
Look at that. Where's that one at?
Because the line's only 59.5 rushing yards, and it's against Miami, and Miami's rush defense isn't the greatest.
They did allow Chuba Hubbard how much was it, 80 yards?
Exactly. So I think DeAndre Swift could get 60 yards for sure.
That's a good shout. I accept that. That's a
okay. Instead, so just to get this clear, instead of Kelce going for a touchdown against Denver, you got DeAndre Swift going for Denver. Oh, he's not. Never mind. Against the Chargers. I don't know where I got Denver from. I'm not gonna lie. They were just like running through my
Everybody's playing Denver, honestly.
Alright.
Shoot. I mean, I think Kelsey could get a touchdown, but I like the 60 yards. I think I
Stick
do
your
want
soul.
to switch that.
Hey man,
Follow
if
your
it's in
heart.
your soul, I mess with it. I'll send it. Okay.
Go. Let's go.
All right.
All
All
right.
right. Whoever gets
Yeah,
it
this
wrong,
is kind of exhilarating.
whoever's
I
pick
know,
gets
right?
it wrong, they have to wear like a loser hat
Okay.
for the. Okay.
Okay.
Aaron, I'll
Watch-
send it to
I
the group
can-
chat.
Watch the one that missed be the Desmond Ritter one. I will be so upset.
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny to be fair.
If it
It really
does,
is.
I will go to
All right.
Guangdong.
All right. So last topic of the day, and we said it was going to be a short episode, and it has been the opposite of
I mean,
that.
we're
The last thing we got is predictions.
okay, we'll breeze through these. It's not as long as our
Yeah.
past ones, but it
So-
is over
so
an
yeah.
hour.
I just want to kind of say at the records really quick. Reese isn't here with us today, but he is going to give us our records. So we're gonna have like a little
Yep.
clip pop up at the end of this of him kind of saying his predictions for this coming week. But for right now, we have Joe who is at 9-6 on his records. We have me with in the lead right now with 12-3 on my picks last week. We have Reese on 6-9. Good heavens, and we have JJ at 8-7.
All right. Do you want me to read through the games and write them down again?
I can read through the games.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right.
So first game is Jags Saints.
Like Saints.
I'm gonna take the Jags. I think they're on a pretty hot streak. I don't think they've won their last 3, right? They've won both of their London games.
I believe so. Yes.
They beat what was the Colts, but still,
Mhm.
I think the Jags have what it takes to beat the Saints. I'm sorry, brain
There
fart.
you go.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also going to take the Jags. I agree with you there.
You know, a part of me, you know, I always like to be different and stuff like that, but I don't think I can this time around. I mean, Bobby had just voted him for worst coach of the year, potentially. So, like, I don't think I can. Like, the Saints, they really haven't linked up this year or shown anything too promising, where the Jags have. Etienne, even Trevor Lawrence starting to pick things up, you know. I feel like the Jags just need to start getting the ball to Ridley a little more, and they're golden. So, yeah, I'm taking Jags.
Okay, next game is Falcons versus Bucks.
I'm gonna take the Bucks. I don't even need to explain my reasoning. You guys know what sort of tangent I'm gonna go off on. Give me the Bucks.
just hold on. Honestly, I'm gonna take the Falcons simply because I think Bijan's gonna have a blowout game.
Yeah, see, I'm close on this one. I want to take the Falcons, but I think I'm going to say Bucks. I'm going to take the Bucks. They're doing pretty well this year. They're coming off a bye. They have a little bit extra rest that the Falcons don't. I think they're going to be able to come in and just kind of handle them. I don't think it's going to be like a blowout or anything, but I think they'll handle the Falcons.
Close game.
Yeah. Right, next game is going to be Raiders versus Bears.
So with this one, I'm kind of stuck here because the Raiders, I'm pretty sure they are without Jimmy G again for this week. We saw last time when that happened. It was what? It was McConnell was I believe the quarterback there. I think it's gonna be Hoyer this time. But then that to me is more experience. I want to say because when that happened, the passing game struggled. It was mostly Josh Jacobs running, and he caught some passes. I want to say that's gonna be similar. And considering the Bears, I'm gonna take the Raiders. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears actually do win this, considering no Jimmy G. Offense might struggle, but I'm gonna stick it with it and say the Raiders.
Well, the thing is that the Bears also don't have Justin Fields.
Oh my! I totally forgot about that. Give me.
So, if it weren't for that, I was gonna say the Bears. If I think Bears at full strength, I think I would take the Raiders. But I'm gonna take Raiders this week. I don't think the Bears have enough offensively to beat the Raiders. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Raiders. I think honestly that's worst game of the week right there. I don't even want to watch it, to be honest.
See, my thing about this game is Jimmy G's questionable. You know, it's going to be a little shaky. But not only that, so is Devontae Adams again. You know, and that's why I'm a little on the fence. Like, yeah, they're missing Justin Fields, but they still got the good receiving core. Whereas, like,
But they're missing
Logistically
their-
speaking, Raiders are also their wide receiver one again is questionable. And last week he was questionable and he did like nothing. So it's like
But
I feel like
Jacoby
he may be
Myers-
limited again. I know, but then they also have Jacoby Myers. Honestly, I still think I'm gonna take the Raiders. I feel like if it was against, or I feel like if the Raiders are playing literally any other team besides like the Bears or like another bottom team, like it would easily go to the other team.
Yeah, I
But-
would agree.
Yeah,
I wouldn't take the Raiders over really many teams besides like the Bears and Broncos. I think are the only two teams I would
especially
take
with the
them over.
questionable Jimmy G and Devontae Adams also struggling right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'll take the Raiders this week.
Next game we got is Browns versus Colts.
I'm not even gonna. I
Yeah,
know we want to kind of make this a little shorter, so I'm gonna put a little faster on my thing. I'm gonna give me the Browns.
I want to say the Browns, and I feel like it could be a trap game for the Browns, coming off a big win against 49ers, but yeah, I don't see it. I think Browns are going to move with that momentum, not falter. So, today.
Oh, the Browns. I thought I already said that. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Commanders and Giants. That's the next game.
This is one that could be very tricky. Both teams have shown remarkable. They're decent teams, but they've also shown, we kind of suck. I think this is gonna be a good win for the Commanders. It's gonna be a close win, but it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same in a way, but I think I'm going to take Giants. Just because I like the way they played against the Bills, and the Commanders are so unpredictable. Like they play either really good or really bad. I don't understand that team at all.
Yeah, no, I also have to agree with Bobby here. I think I'm gonna go with the Giants as well, simply because like they played a team who is known to like blow out tons of other teams that are like performing well. For example, the Dolphins. And the Giants held them to what was it, like 13? You know, like
I'm sorry. What? 31.
wait, what?
You got the numbers flipped around. It's okay.
The Dolphins beat the Giants like 31 to.
No. I mean the Bills versus Giants game.
Oh, it was 14. Yeah, 14 to
14.
9.
Okay, like a really low scoring game. You know,
Yeah,
against a team that was scored like 42 on the Dolphins.
42 on the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So honestly, I think that the Giants, because I'm hoping that they keep like obviously like some like it's in loss, but I still hope that they take momentum from this.
Yep.
And I'm taking the Giants.
I agree. Next game is Lions versus Ravens, which I think is an early matchup for one of the games of the week.
I want to follow stuff that we talked about earlier on. I'm on the Jared Goff hype train. I'm on the Dan Campbell hype train. Give me the Lions. Yes, they are without Demont now, but if Jahmyr Gibbs does come back, he's in line for that big, maybe a potential breakout. Everything that we've been waiting for. If not, Craig Reynolds. Even if their run game isn't ready, Jared Goff he has enough weapons where he can get it done through the air.
I despise the Ravens, so I'm going Lions.
Oh yeah, poor guy. Anyways, I mean, as much as I feel that the Ravens have a lot of potential this year, I mean, honestly, like Zay Flowers, in my opinion, he's been good. Except for like beginning of the season, he looked good, and like I want to hope that the Ravens can like low key rebound a little bit, because like I felt like going into the season they had potential, but they haven't been showing that potential. So I'm going to take the Lions because they've been showing that potential. So yeah, I'm gonna take Lions.
Next game is Bills versus Pats, and honestly, we shouldn't even have to talk about it.
Yeah. JC
Okay, next
Jackson.
game we got is Cardinals versus Seahawks.
Wait. I just want to be clear. We're all agreeing on the Bills, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
listen, it would be very JJ-esque to be like, give me the Pats, or very.
No, I hate the Patriots, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next game is Cardinals versus Seahawks.
This is good. This is gonna be a very tricky one.
The Birds, man.
Tricky. I think the Cardinals have kind of lost their like little early season momentum that they had, and they're kind of showing their ugly selves again. So I'm gonna have to go Seahawks. The Seahawks aren't a bad team, and they played decent against the Bengals. So
lost to the Bengals by what, like 2-3 points? I'm not.
Yeah, it was close. It was a very close
I'm
game.
also gonna take the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Seahawks as well. I think DK masterclass.
I see.
Yeah.
No, he's potentially out, dude.
Hey, shut up.
Yeah,
You
as
can
well as
ask one.
Gino. But hopefully Gino's back. Anyway, Steelers versus Rams.
This is another one that can go
This is
either
a
way.
weird game. This is a
'Cause
weird
the
game.
Rams are coming
Honestly,
off
the Steelers' defense has been pretty good.
What?
Steelers' defense, man.
Oh God.
Listen,
What
man.
has it?
I'm
Fire
not,
Matt Canada, bro.
I'm
That
not
guy's
on the Kenny Pickett hype train though. I do not like Kenny Pickett.
really.
I think he's funny.
I mean,
Oh no,
I think
he's
he's alright.
funny. I just don't like him. Like
Hilarious.
I just don't see him like. I see
Yeah.
him play. I'm not like Kenny Pickett. Yeah, I'm not seeing that.
Okay, fair.
So I'm gonna take
Anyway.
the Rams. Cooper Cup.
Yeah, I think with Cooper Cup back, Rams should get it. But like, honestly, in my opinion, the Steelers' defense this year has been kind of underrated. Like, just a little bit, maybe. But like, in my opinion, they've been overperforming compared to what people thought they would. But their offense, though, and I honestly, I'm not the biggest Kenny Pickett fan either. He didn't do bad last game, but Steelers as a whole just didn't do bad last game. But I see the Rams swooping in, taking it over.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Originally, I wanted to say Rams, but my girlfriend's dad is a Steelers fan,
Shout
so I'm
out.
gonna have to go with the Steelers.
That's in the fantasy, right?
Yeah. He's in our fantasy league.
Gonna give him a shout
Shout out
out.
Mike. Shout out Mr. Mike.
My
dog. My dog right there. Let's go
Let's go.
Steelers. And I could see the Rams winning. Honestly, I kind of like how the Rams have been playing. They've been playing pretty good. But I'm gonna have to go Steelers from a big dog, Mike. All right, next game is Chargers Chiefs. This is a great game too.
This is gonna be a fantastic game. I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I think they're just even if they have to if by some chance they have to come back, we've seen Patrick Mahomes pull off the crazy comebacks. I think it's too much of a dumb thing to not take them in whatever game. Only thing I said we don't take them is if it's like Dolphins, another big team, and the Chargers have been iffy, so I'm gonna take the Chiefs.
Okay, here's my take. And I feel like in every single week there's always a couple upsets, and I have a feeling that this is gonna be one of them. And I
have the same feeling.
Because last week Austin Eckler's first game back, he didn't perform much, but it's his first game back. I feel like this week they're gonna start utilizing him a lot more. Plus with Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert, it's like last week he was just shaking off the injury. I feel like he's fully back, And I feel like the Chiefs. I could see the Chargers. I feel like it's definitely gonna be like a heavy back and forth game. But I feel like the Chiefs are gonna lack in that back and forth game is depth, and I feel like their receiving core is kind of shaky this year. Really, only you being able to a player that they can only 100% rely on is Travis Kelce, and you can't rely on one player an entire game, especially in a back and forth game like that. So I'm gonna have to take the Chargers.
And I just think. Yeah, I would have to agree with you, JJ. I just think Justin Herbert had an off game last week, and I think if he was playing well, they would have won. So I think if Justin Herbert plays well this week, then I think that they can win. So I'm going to take the Chargers. I think it's going to be an upset.
Yeah,
especially with Austin Eckler back.
Ooh, my boy.
Yep. Next game is Packers versus Broncos.
Is this another one where we need a discussion?
Yeah, I'm taking Packers for sure. I don't even really want to explain it. The Broncos, I don't feel comfortable taking the Broncos in any game.
Yeah.
If
I don't
playing
even think the Broncos
offense.
Yeah, and I honestly, I'm one of the people that don't think the Broncos offense is bad.
Russ, it's not. No, I don't think it's bad either. Their offense is pretty decent.
They don't have a bad offense by any means, and their running game has looked actually pretty good too.
He's gonna burn down the kitchen though if he keeps cooking like that.
Anyways, next game is Dolphins versus Eagles. Game of the week. Sunday Night Football as well.
No, that's definitely gonna be a good game right there.
Give me the Dolphins. I think.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are gonna kind of slump a little bit after having a bad week last week. I think the Dolphins may capitalize, and I think they're gonna take that dub.
Honestly,
I really quick, JJ, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think to keep up with the Dolphins is not have a really good offense and to have a shootout with them. That's how you're going to beat them, I think. So with the Eagles' offense kind of being lackluster, I think it's going to be their downfall.
And
even though their defense is really good and might be able to stop the Dolphins a few times, but yeah.
Maybe, honestly, I definitely could see the game going either way. I'm not gonna lie. Like if Eagles win, I'm not surprised. If Dolphins win, I'm not surprised. Both teams this year have like shown like great signs of like Super Bowl contention. You know, but for simply because of the fact, like I don't know, like I personally just still think that the Eagles, they went through like a rough patch last week, and I'm one of those people that like if something bad happens to me, that motivates me, type of thing. And being 5-0 and losing to a 2-3 team, that would motivate me, you know. And I'm hoping that Jalen Hurts and the Eagles see it the same way, and that'll like push them to beat the Dolphins, you know.
Yep.
And maybe they won't take it that way, and they may just completely get cheat down, you know. But I do have high hopes for the Eagles this week. I think that it's definitely going to be good. This will probably be a good game, but I'm gonna have to take the Eagles.
Next game we got 49ers versus Vikings.
So for this game,
and
you can go first, Bobby.
I mean, I'm just gonna really quickly say 49ers. I think the Vikings, they don't have much going for them. No Jay Jettas. Their offense is not cooking at all. So I'm gonna have to take 49ers. It's a bounce back game for them.
Joe, you wanna go?
You can go, JJ.
I can go. Okay, well, no Jay Jettas. Run game's been abysmal. And I mean, Kirk Cousins really doesn't have much to throw the ball to. Like, I think their wide receiver one last week only put up like 26 yards, for example, which, to say the least, is kind of sad because they're not really a team that, typically speaking, rotates the ball around a lot like the 49ers do. I feel like the 49ers, even if CMC isn't there type of thing, they can still rotate the ball well, and every single week is a new threat. They don't need CMC for 1 week. Obviously, he's a game changer, but I think against a team that's like low key struggling right now, I think this should be easy sweep. 49ers.
I agree with the 49ers over the Vikings. I think it comes from just that Vikings offense has been so horrible with turnovers. They have so many. We saw how angry Justin Jefferson got with turnovers, and I just think that the 49ers defense is just that good to where they will cause a lot of problems for Kirk Cousins, whether it be fumbles, whether it be interceptions. They're going to cause some trouble, so I'm going to take the 49ers.
Yeah. So that's looking pretty good, honestly. We have a lot of like consensus games.
Yeah.
Like, we agree on a lot of games. I feel like there's not a lot of chance like for upsets this week. I don't know. It feels weird. I feel like I should have picked more upsets. I don't like it.
Low key, that's the reason I picked the Chargers. You know,
if there's anything now, if there's any time that you want to change it, this is the time. Anything that
I'm going Broncos over Packers.
You're actually gonna take Broncos over Packers?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm taking.
Honestly, I was low-key thinking about it. You know what? Put me Broncos over Packers.
You're gonna do Pat Broncos? Okay.
I'll do it.
You take one for the team.
No. I'll do it eventually. One of these weeks, for you Bronco fans, I'll pick Broncos, but not this week.
I feel like Reese is gonna come up with a lot of the upsets.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 and 9. That poor guy.
Here, we'll insert his clip here, so this will be
very landed.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is episode 3 of We Know Ball podcast, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We had the original 3 once again. It's pretty fun. Yeah. So if you guys have any suggestions of what you guys want us to talk about, please put it in the comments below. We'll try and get that in the next few episodes. Yeah. And I don't know what you were doing, JJ. What is going on?
I was putting my lid back on my crackers.
This is.
Oh my gosh.
Haven't been seeing the last 2 episodes. JJ has been going through that entire bin of crackers.
Literally,
I don't know.
I
just finished it though, so I'm gonna have to get new ones.
Okay.
Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. This was a pretty fun episode. I think it was some good talk. So
what we wanted to be short, it was not short. It is currently 12:21 a.m. and we all have.
I don't know. The time flies when we're doing this. It's fun, man.
We all have various things.
It is fun.
I think I go to work. You guys have
I have a
class. JJ has
work meeting.
So it's gonna be a fun time. So
I have rehearsals and a haircut and class.
All right, time for FIFA.
Bro,
time for FIFA. See y'all later. Peace out.
Peace out, boys.